To Mrs. Glasspool to be, my gorgeous girl, it's hard to believe that this day has finally arrived, and it really doesn't seem as though it's 18 years when we exchanged messages, and it seemed as though I was destined to be Ali Bongo long before Lola was born. And you know what? I stand by my initial diagnosis being correct. It has been pretty much as expected, and that's because from the moment we communicated, I knew, and once we met I was even more sure, you were the one that I really had been waiting for. So I'll admit that I had some things that were done and dusted, but you were right, of course. To share our son was just perfect, a child no more or less than any of our sons, but the building of a shared bond between us forever. There was a point not long before we met that I thought that maybe love would elude me, or maybe just does not really exist. I was about to give up looking for the unattainable, and then I met you, and it was clear that what I thought had been lost before had never really been. It was as though my life was just beginning. Well, it's been quite a journey so far, and there's been plenty more to come. Thank you for being everything that you are, for sharing every time that we've had, and for agreeing to hang on in there to find out what happens next. Who knows where the path will lead? I don't mind really, just as long as we travel together. That's all that really matters to me. See you Saturday. Love you, Alan.
Alan and Barbara, you have both now made the declarations prescribed by law, and together with a long tradition of the giving and receiving of rings, you have made a solemn and binding marriage contract with each other, in our presence and in the presence of your family and friends gathered here today. It therefore gives me the very greatest of pleasure to announce that you are now husband and wife. Alan, you may kiss your wife.
Today has been quite a long time in the coming. Obviously, we were supposed to be 12 months ago, but many of you may know, or some of you may not know, we were actually supposed to be here actually 15 years ago. But things didn't quite work out then either. And so there's been a slight delay getting here, I would say, but anyway, we've made it. During those 20 years, of course, we've been all the things that normal couples are. We've been lovers, sometimes been enemies. We've laughed and we've cried together, and we've had life's highs and we've had life's lows, but we're still here. Now, I did think about, again, being a slightly older guy, what do I say today? Like, what is it? Why is it we're still together after all this time? And a couple of weeks ago, Karen over there called me out of the blue. And she said, I'm going to do a Mr. and Mrs. quiz evening, she said, for Bee's hen night, as it were. And she asked me some questions. Amongst those questions was, what is the attribute about Bee that you like the most? And I've got to be honest, I was a bit stumped on that question. No, hang on a minute, hang on. There's so many attributes that I couldn't actually decide on one. So I did and ah about it for quite some time. And I gave an answer in the end which sounded like a complete cop-out and possibly very cheesy, but it was actually the truth. And that answer, when it came to me eventually, when we and ahed on the phone for quite some time, was very simple, but it's also very precious. Over those 20 years, Bee's been all the things that I've said, the lovers, the enemies, the friends, and so on. But throughout that time, today, and I'm sure for always, she's just simply my best friend.